Hello, welcome to the second edition of OLLO Chat. Today we have our endorser from Thailand, Mr. Tommy Hellsten. Hello.
Hi,
What's
everything okay? Yeah.
yeah, we are fine. We are in the moderate climate, but you're in Thailand. So what is it like there at the moment?
Uh, we can say it's more or less a sauna here. It's quite hot in daytime.
So Tommy, you're actually one of the very first endorsers of OLLO Audio. I think we spoke firstly about half a year ago,
Yes.
and you were kind of excited about what we are doing, and we were happy to have you on board. So we've sent you our Play to Me standard system for a test, and I want to hear from you what were your first impressions? What did you think about it?
My first impression was more or less a shock.
Okay.
I have the amplifier on the pillow a little bit too high. First time I start playing, so I almost kick out from the chair. But when you get used to it, it's amazing. I can tell you, I cannot use it without it today. I look movie, I mix music, I master music. The only thing I use, my studio monitors, they collect dust.
How does the perception of sound change when in the past you've been mixing with monitors, right? So, and also a lot on headphones. I believe you used the HD 598, right?
598 and 650 I use for a while too, but I think 598 sounds better than 650.
Mm-hmm.
But this beat them all.
Yeah, you really
Absolutely.
you really like them. What was what was the change when going from monitors and from Sennheisers to OLLOs, right? So what was the main advantage? What was the main difference that you hear?
The main difference, I mix most of my stuff in headphones all the time
Okay.
because I want to concentrate on the panning and where the instrument is and stuff like that. And you hear that a lot better in headphones than you do in monitors anyway.
Yeah, true.
I always do the last listening in the studio monitor and everything. But I need to have a subwoofer to hear the low frequency in the studio monitor.
Mm-hmm.
And when I have this one and when I break it in and it start to nice, soft and nice,
Mm-hmm.
and have the pillow, I thinking many times when I listen to this that I listen to my studio monitor. It's crazy. It's because the sound is the same if I take off my headphone or I have it on.
Yeah,
The sound is almost the same with the sub, everything.
fantastic.
So it's amazing.
Yeah, great, thanks. So what about the pillow? How does it complement the sound? Is it like disturbing at some points, or is it something that you can actually use all the time?
It was a little bit uncomfortable in the beginning, but when you start to get used to it and you take it away, you lose all the music. That's very strange feeling
Yeah,
because it really, I hear down to 15 hertz.
yeah, yeah,
I don't hear down to 15 hertz normally, I can
yeah,
tell you. I
yeah.
can be glad if I hear 40.
So
So it's helped me a lot to manage to put the bass and kick drums in the right place.
yeah,
So, and that must say is a lot better than to use the subwoof.
yeah,
My room is not perfect. It's
exactly.
far away from perfect, but it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't sit in a real studio. This is a glass room. I have
Mm-hmm.
glass
Mm-hmm.
on three wall is glass,
Mm-hmm.
and one wall is concrete.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the ideal place to have a studio,
Yeah, yeah,
but it
absolutely.
works. But with this, I get rid of a lot of problem.
Mm-hmm. So what's the result of using Play to Me? So you've been using it in a few mixes, right? I want to know how good did the mixes turned out? Was there any corrections needed, or were you spot on? How far from the truth were you?
It's hard to me to say, but people who have listened to my mixes, they say that it's a lot.
Mm.
It's more balance in the mix.
Okay. And
So
how about?
I need to have other people's opinion on what I'm
Yeah.
doing. I cannot tell myself. I think it sounds better, of course, but
Yeah, of
it's
course.
me.
Yeah. So let's maybe go a little bit further back in time, just to draw a picture about you, so who you actually are. So you're originally Swedish, right? Coming from Sweden,
Yeah.
moved to Thailand. But I would really like to hear, where did this mixing journey actually begin? So your audio engineering profession, love, hobby, whatever. How did it all begin? What were the first steps, and what do you actually do now?
How long time you have? Everything started around 1970 in a small town called Örebro in Sweden, and the Swedish radio.
Mm.
Because my wife's parents work at the Swedish radio, and I've been interested in music since I was 7 years old, and I had my first stereo when I was 9.
Mm.
And that time to have a stereo was quite amazing, I can tell you.
Yeah,
Not many kids in 9-year-old have a stereo that time.
of course.
But I've always been interested in music.
Yeah.
And technical stuff I love. I love the age we are in now, the era with all this technical stuff. I love it. But I miss the old stuff, because in the Swedish radio we use ordinary analog mixer board and stuff like that. So I learned to use a mixer board. I learned how to edit on the tape machine. And I learned to make layer by layer, use many tape machine, or have a tape machine that have 25 track or something like that. And the old school.
Fantastic. How did you move from Sweden to Thailand, and how do you actually work now?
I can tell it stopped a little bit when I get kids and stuff in Sweden. You know how it is to have kids.
Yeah,
you have no time for anything else.
Yeah.
So all this record and everything put on
hold. Yeah.
the safe place. But when I moved to Thailand, I have the time again, and I make music before myself, before I have an accident. So I destroy this hand. It don't work to play guitar anymore.
Oh, okay.
But because I make music, I learn to know a lot of artists around the world, and I was on website. You have one that's called iComposition, and one called Pro Collab. And they make a lot of collaboration, make a lot of music, and I need to have someone mix. And on that to go, and then I start to be more and more known. So now people call me and ask if I can mix for them. So.
Great. So what do you think about the future of mixing? Big studios closing down, and all this music production is moving towards freelancers. So I want to hear your perspective. You've been in the business for many years. How do you see the future in mixing?
I think you're right when you say that the big studio more or less going to close down. There are going to be a few left, but the biggest one, because of the name, because of the people working there, and because the gear they use.
Of course.
Because many of them still use the analog gear.
Yeah.
That is the sound. The digital sound.
Of course.
It's okay, but
you still need
I can say like this.
Right?
I think I try every dove in the market. I try, and never been happy, because most of the time I just mix music. I don't make music.
Yeah.
It's impossible to find a DAW that can do all the stuff. So you need to have a 2-3 DAW on your computer. If I work with editor and media stuff like that, I use Logic. And if I want to mix, I use Mixbus. And Mixbus is a clone of an analog desk, and just sounds great. So people make music in different DAW and send it to me, and I mix it in Mixbus, and they get an analog sound in Mixback. That's the reason they're very happy.
Great. So
I think it's going to be more or less in the bedroom. And in the home studio, gonna grow a lot more, because this big guy who mixing music for decades and make platinum album and everything, they do everything they can to teach people how to mix. That means they take away the job from themselves, more or less. And more people coming up, sitting home, because you can get exactly the same result if you're good in a home studio that you can do in a real studio. It's different.
So the main difference is still only on the recording part, right? So for recording guitars, drums, and so on, you still need a studio. You need a good room, good equipment, right? And a lot of knowledge to actually capture good sound. So it starts there. So there is the future, right, for these studios and other maybe even smaller studios. So to be specialized maybe more in the recording. But as you mentioned, I also agree with that. Obviously, that's why we make this product. But the future of mixing will probably be more on headphones and on the go, on the fly. Freelancers living in urban areas, in cities, and so on, you can't really mix loudly, especially when it comes to subwoofers and stuff like that. If you're in a multi-level house or skyscraper or something like that, the subwoofer will just travel through concrete and through infrastructure or through the whole building. Even if you have insulation, it's not sufficient. So there's definitely. Go ahead, Tom.
Modern house today, it's if the neighbor closed the door, you hear it. If the neighbor go toilet, you hear it. So of course you hear what you're doing. And we have no time to keep. We're sitting till we finish. It can be 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
True.
And if you have a monitor speaker, you cannot.
So
they're going to kick you out.
True.
The thing is, why I'm mixing headphones, we can start there. Why I'm mixing headphones is because 95% of the people listening to music listen in headphones.
True.
So if you make the sound good in your headphones, it's going to sound good in the customer headphones. So I have more problem when I'm mixing in monitor than I have when I mix in headphones, because in headphones I hear every little sound. Even if you drop an ear in the floor, you don't hear in the studio monitor.
True.
So I can with the doctor's cutting put exactly where I want it to be. Even in depth and everything. People say you cannot find the depth in headphones. I don't agree there, because you can. You can hear three-dimensional in a headphone too.
Let's talk a little bit about the music industry in general. So, I mean, what do you see has changed in the last years? You've been in it your entire life. So, how is it changing, and how do you think that the consumers actually perceive it? So
it go from great to disaster.
Okay.
Because today it's not easy to make money on music.
No.
Because you make a wonderful CD or LP, whatever. Now LP coming back, so maybe they can start selling, because
You can't really copy it.
You cannot really copy it. But otherwise, you find the music on the internet and you download it and you never buy the CD.
Yeah, true.
So it's really, really difficult to be an artist today. So I feel sorry for them. And they spend a lot of money to make this CD.
Yeah. But
so it needs to change. They need to find a way to stop the pirate copy of the music they do if this gonna survive.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
yeah,
I don't know how they're gonna survive.
Yeah. Well, but on the flip coin, right? There is a lot of knowledge available now. So the internet made it possible to copy things, copy music, right? So
Yes.
that's one truth. The other truth is that you can learn mixing basically on YouTube. You can learn playing a guitar. You can learn music theory. You can learn a lot about the music industry on the internet, right? So there, yeah, on one side you have a minus, right? So the cons. On the other side, there's a lot of advantage coming from this. Now, the question is only, to me, the question is who can adapt fast enough and change fast enough and embrace this technology that is available and maybe change their mindset from, okay, I'm going to make a record and try to sell it, to something different. Like, I'm an artist, I make music, I produce music all together, all by myself usually, and try to monetize it in different ways, right? So not necessarily by selling a CD, right? So.
Yes, I think this is on the artist table, not so much the engineer.
True.
In our case, we do the job to make it sounds good. Then how are we going to put it out on the market? There is a lot of way to do it. I know a lot of people go famous through Facebook and SoundCloud and stuff like that. So you get your music out and people like it. It depends how you do. If you want to give away your music or you want to make it available for 90 cents or whatever they sell the music for today.
Yeah.
Or they just give out a few track and then the rest you need to buy the CD.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Or you put out the lower quality, but if you put out low quality, you don't get any listener.
Yeah, true. True.
So it's a moment 22.
Yeah, true. All right, Tom. I think we kind of went through the main questions that I really wanted to ask you, and kind of give you a chance to present yourself to the OLLO community. I thank you very much for your time, and thank you very much for your support. As mentioned earlier, you are one of the very first endorsers. You've helped us out a lot. The first few systems that were sold came directly from your support. So thank you for that. And I hope we can work together on the new models, the new generation that's coming out soon. And I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.